Every year, on the coldest night of winter, the people of Warrulu Peak heard it. A single deep drumbeat echoing across the mountains. No one played it. No one admitted hearing it. And yet, the sound always came. Some said it was the land speaking. Others said it was a warning. But only one person ever learned the truth. The last drum keeper of Warrulu Peak. If you enjoy powerful cultural stories and mysterious legends, subscribe now. There's more coming every week. The town of Warrulu Peak sits high in the Great Dividing Range, surrounded by jagged cliffs, misty valleys, and forests that hum when the wind passes through. Most people living there worked in the old sawmill, or tended small farms scattered across the slopes. But the heart of Warrulu Peak wasn't the town. It was the mountain above it. A towering spine of stone the locals called Marradji, the breath of spirits. For generations, Marradji watched over the town. But it also carried a rhythm. A rhythm that could be felt. A rhythm that once had a keeper. His name was Kale Rivers, and when this story begins, he was already an old man, thin as a branch, with silver hair tied at the back and eyes that never missed anything. Kale lived alone near the edge of the forest. Some said he talked to trees. Some said he prayed to the mountain. And some said he was the last to remember the Drum Vigil. A long time ago, before Warrulu Peak was even a town, the people performed a ritual every winter. They would gather on the mountain ledge known as the Spirit Shelf. There, a single chosen keeper would play a deep wooden drum made from ironbark wood and animal hide. But the drum wasn't just music. It was a conversation. The keeper drummed a message to the mountain. And the mountain answered back. Some years the answer was strong, like footsteps through the earth. Some years it was faint, like a sigh slipping through stone. The ritual of the Drum Vigil was meant to keep balance between people, the land, and whatever unseen things lived in the cracks of the world. But as the decades passed, people forgot. Life got busy. The forest shrank, the sawmill grew, and the old ways slipped away. Until only Kale remembered how to speak to the mountain. And only the mountain remembered how to answer him. One winter, the cold arrived early. The kind of cold that stings your lungs. The kind that freezes the tops of trees. The kind that makes animals vanish into burrows. Kale felt the change before anyone else. The wind turned sharp. The birds flew low. And the air carried a vibration he hadn't felt since he was a boy. A deep, distant thrum. Not loud, but undeniable. The mountain was calling. And not gently. Kale tightened his coat. He looked toward Marradji Peak. The vigil had to be performed. If not, he didn't finish the thought. Kale went into his shed. A weathered little building smelling of resin and cedar. From a high shelf, wrapped in a cloth of faded red. He took down the drum. The ironbark frame was cracked. The hide had darkened with age. The carvings along the rim looked like ripples of wind frozen in wood. He placed his hand on it. Warm. Too warm for winter. He whispered, "You're awake again." He lit a lantern and stepped into the cold night. The path to the Spirit Shelf twisted up the mountain. Eucalyptus trees leaned over the track like guardians. Snow dusted the ground. Kale walked slowly, carefully. Halfway up, he heard it. A sound like a heartbeat moving through the earth. Boom. Boom. Soft, but enormous. He whispered, "It's stronger this year." The Drum Vigil was done at sunset. But Kale had no choice. The mountain wasn't waiting. Right here. This is the moment people of Warrulu Peak still talk about. Because after this night, the forest changed forever. And if you're enjoying the story so far, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next legend. Now, let's continue. Kale reached the ledge, a wide stone platform overlooking endless forest. Mist curled across the valley like drifting silver cloth. He placed the drum in the center, lit small oil lamps around it, knelt. Then he began to play. Soft at first, gentle taps that echoed like raindrops. Then louder, deeper, a steady rhythm that pushed into the cold air, rolling across the valley like waves. The mountain answered. A vibration rose under his knees. The stone trembled. Kale closed his eyes. "Yes," he whispered. "I hear you." But something else heard him too. Across the valley, on a ridge opposite Spirit Shelf, a shape moved. Not human. Not animal. Tall. Long-limbed. Its outline shimmered like heat against the cold night. Kale's heartbeat stuttered. He had hoped these beings were only in stories. They were called the Unsteaded. Spirits said to appear when the land was out of harmony. Drawn to imbalance. Feeding on fear and broken rhythms. Kale continued drumming. Keeping the pattern tight, controlled. But the shape moved closer. As if listening. As if learning the rhythm. As if preparing to answer it. Kale struck harder. Boom. 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 Each hit sent shockwaves through the ground. The shape stopped, tilted its head. Then the mountain answered. A powerful, booming echo ripping through the night. Korwam, Korwam. The shape recoiled, shuddered, faded slightly. Kale understood. The mountain wasn't only listening. It was defending. But it was weakening. Its echoes were slower, more strained. He had to strengthen the rhythm. Had to give the mountain energy to push the spirit back. His hands blurred. His elbows shook. His breath turned to mist. But he didn't stop. The air cracked. A sound like thunder erupted from the forest. Trees shuddered. Birds screamed. Snow fell from branches in sudden sheets. The unsteadied shape surged forward, crossing the valley in unnatural leaps. Kale struck the drum with everything he had. The rhythm roared into the night. And then, the drum skin tore. A sharp ripping sound. The rhythm collapsed. The echo from the mountain faltered. The spirit landed on the stone ledge, just meters from Kale. Towering, dark, shifting like smoke caught in a storm. Kale fell backward. Lantern light trembled beside him. He whispered, "It's time." He raised his hand, placed it against the torn drum skin. The mountain hummed, faint, weak. Kale closed his eyes, then began to sing. Not words, not melody. A raw, ancient human sound that came from deep in the chest. From the same place where fear lived, where grief lived, where courage lived. The spirit stopped, listened. The mountain listened too. And then, the peak answered. Not with sound, with light. A soft glow rose from the stone, flowing into Kale's hands, through him, into the drum. The torn hide tightened. The carvings brightened. A new rhythm pulsed from within. Boom, boom, boom. The spirit shrieked, a high, metallic cry, and dissolved into a gust of cold air. The forest fell silent. Kale slumped forward, his breath ragged. The vigil was complete, but at a cost. When dawn came, villagers found Kale sitting on the spirit shelf, drum beside him, eyes closed, gone, but not peacefully, not sadly. His face held a small, proud smile, the kind only someone who finished a duty can wear. They brought him down the mountain, wrapped him in a red cloth like the one that had held the drum. The drum was placed in the town hall. No one dared touch it. That night, as the cold wind blew across Warrulu Peak, the townsfolk heard it. One final drumbeat. Soft, deep, grateful. Then silence. No one became the next keeper. No one climbed the mountain again in winter. The vigil ended. But a strange thing happened. The forest grew stronger. Storms passed safely around the valley. The sawmill thrived, then closed when it was time. Without accidents or tragedy. People grew old peacefully. The land was calm, balanced. Some said the mountain kept drumming on its own. Some said Kale's spirit had taken up the vigil permanently. And some said traditions live not because people remember them, but because the land does. If you want more emotional stories about old rituals, forgotten traditions, and the people who kept them alive, subscribe right now. Next time, we are traveling to the Canadian North to explore a snow ritual said to predict death, survival, or love. And trust me, that story is even stranger.